Hey guys, this is Danny Boy. This is going to be a long one. We are on Sanctuary. This entire episode will be Sanctuary. I do think I die a few times, so that makes things take a little bit longer. I'll be using the Revenant. As you can see, I haven't used the Revenant in a while, and I have intended to use it for quite a while on the Sentinel. I am still spec'd into Carnage for my bonus skill. Same build, I believe, as last time. And I'm using an extended mag on the Revenant, and I'm using a piercing mod, I believe, just because, you know, why not? Try it out a bit more. And it will ever matter. I mean, no matter how much I try it out, I will never really conclude anything based on it, because it's just so difficult to actually tell what's happening. So there goes one Phantom. I know that there are going to be Phantoms coming. I know that there is a Nemesis Sniper who's annoying to deal with, especially since all I have is a Revenant. I'm just peeking repeatedly so that they'll shoot me. And now I can use a Singularity. But first I need to deal with this guy. Yeah, there is this lower area. For my first playthrough, I didn't even realize this was here. It took me until my Vanguard playthrough. Up, up, and away. But, what was I saying? Yeah, didn't realize that lower area was even there for a good while. So it's helpful if you want to outmaneuver the Phantoms. So I thought that he was dead, but I don't think he's dead. I think he just... Yeah, I could swear that he just fell down, but he was back up there. I don't know what just happened. I don't know. Now we will have this incredibly fast-paced fight against 3 assault troopers. Super exciting. What will happen? I don't know. Suspense is killing me. Watch as I reload. You know, the Revenant, I don't know. It feels like it was nerfed since the last game. Definitely in range and in spread. It feels like it was nerfed. I generally use it up close and personal anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. But when you're using it as your sole weapon, I'd rather have something as a backup, you know, for really distant targets, because I hate bursting it to hit distant targets like I was doing there. And he died. Just, that's done. I do enjoy using it really up close and personal, though. I don't know. It's really heavy, too, which kind of sucks. But, yes, Sanctuary. Sanctuary is long. Sanctuary is filled with plot that I was fortunate enough to be able to skip entirely this time around. I know there's going to be a Banshee here. There's also lots of Banshees, which slows things down. And I'm going to kill this Banshee as I always do. I don't actually need to kill the Banshee here, I just always do. There is a room. I mean, you can see that green light, you know, that's a doorway. There's a room over there, I can't go in there. I just always go in here because, you know, she takes time to kill your party members, or she gets stuck attacking party members that are behind cover or whatever. Stupid overload hitting cover, why? It also gives you this high ground, so especially with the Revenant, I can just pour damage into her, just completely open up on her. Though now there's a Ravager, so I'm a little more hesitant to peek out of cover, which kind of sucks, and I just completely whiffed that grenade. And that grenade. That one hit, though. I kind of suck, unfortunately. But I definitely need to get out of here. I'm not a Vanguard anymore. I don't have the luxury of being able to quickly gain back shields. I was really worried that the Ravager would catch me out of cover and attack me, but if you notice, right now I'm positioned low. I am in cover, but I'm turned to the left and shooting him. So right now I'm not, and very, very nearly died. But I don't think from the Ravager. Yes, the Ravager was attacking somebody else or something. Don't really know. Not totally sure. Happened kind of quick. But now this is basically done. I do really like Carnage as just an ability to take out armor. It's nice, but I just don't really know. Eventually, once I play the Infiltrator, I will directly compare Incinerate to Carnage and see what the big difference is. The one thing I know that makes Carnage really great is that it can incapacitate components, yes. Incapacitate opponents for like 5 seconds, which can be really handy in a lot of different situations. But for pure damage, I'm thinking Incinerate probably wins out. You know, Carnage is better for crowd control, but Incinerate, especially if you have Cryoblast, detonating Cryoblasts with Incinerate is incredibly powerful. In fact, I think it's one of the most powerful things you can actually do in the game. Because a detonated Cryoblast has a gigantic radius, and it freezes more targets, so then you can just have a chain reaction and then detonate those, and on and on and on. It's really, really, really ridiculous. Probably one of the easiest ways you can go through the game, in fact. But I didn't actually use Cryoblast on my Engineer until the very end of the game, and spent the vast majority of the character's existence just experimenting with different weapons and loadouts, so that was what I was most interested in at the time. It's still something that I am very, very interested in, experimenting with different loadouts depending on the character and the class. My favorite thing to do. If you don't know by now, my favorite thing to do in RPGs is experiment. That is absolutely my favorite thing to do, is try out all kinds of different combinations, different classes, different abilities and weapons and everything. That is what I enjoy doing. And also, I love trying unorthodox builds, just weird builds that aren't necessarily very competitive, but are still viable, and just making them work and trying them out. That's why I went for the melee build, you know, on the Sentinel. Not something that I think a lot of players would bother with doing. Just melee in general is fairly suicidal. You use it when the opportunity arises, but going on of your way to use it is kind of ridiculous. And yeah, that is basically how things worked out on the Sentinel as well. You know, I wasn't able to do it for very long. If I had more time to work with, you know, I might spend more time doing it, but I don't really have that luxury. One thing you will definitely see in my Diablo 3 playthrough is a ton of experimentation with the different abilities in the game, the different rune effects as well. That is definitely what I'm looking forward to the most. I was also looking forward, well, no, I'm not going to say I was. You know what, I'm not even going to get into it. That will come at another time, that ramble. But anyway, yeah, Diablo 3, I'm going to try out a ton of different abilities. Apparently what I'm next to right now is not actually cover. And that was a mistake, and I realize it. Aha, yeah. I should have immediately done that. I took cover, and I meant to immediately go up to him and do the sync kill. I would have been very disappointed if I missed out on the opportunity. It is my favorite thing to do. Pretty much in the game, to be honest. Comes really, really close. I keep getting distracted. Yeah, I'm gonna try a bunch of different abilities in Diablo 3. Going to try unorthodox builds in Diablo 3 if I can. And my favorite build in Diablo 2 was a hunter, which is just a druid that uses a bow and focuses on pets. So it's kind of like the summoner build, but you focus on a bow as supplement to damage. Especially, it's very important to get a weapon that has amplified damage, rather, such as the Wish Wild String. I'm using Atma's Scarab as an amulet to also give you amplified damage, because in Hell, in Diablo 3, there are enemies that are physically immune, and pets, the druid pets, only do physical damage in Diablo, and I just said Diablo 3, I meant Diablo 2. In Diablo, we are talking about Diablo 2 right now, and I realize that I am totally off topic, but I don't care. I'm going to finish this spiel. But anyway, yeah, you want to have amplified damage, because there are physical immune enemies on Hell difficulty, and amplified damage will break those immunities and allow your pets to continue doing damage, so very important. But that was my favorite build, my favorite character in Diablo 2. Anyway, this room is a very narrow corridor. You know, Ravagers, Swarmers, really important to take out the barrier engines ASAP, otherwise you're going to have a lot of difficulty dealing with those. And then just making sure to kill the Ravagers before they get so close that you don't really have the opportunity to do so anymore, where they're just on top of you. And I'm trying to use this high cover to prevent enemies from shooting me, but I actually, believe it or not, I'm having a little bit of difficulty with Swarmers, because for some reason, wherever Javik is, he's not killing the Swarmers. I think, yeah, Javik was all the way over there. I have no idea why he was all the way over there. I thought he was behind me, but he was not. If he had been, I wouldn't have any trouble with those Swarmers. That was rather annoying. You know, one thing as well, I'm using the Revenant, and I am using it with warp ammo. I really don't think I would normally do that. I'm just doing it because that was the ammo that I used throughout the game. I feel like the Revenant would be a lot better with armor-piercing ammo, or certainly incendiary ammo as well. Even, like, cryo ammo would probably be useful, just because of you have so many shots, so you have a greater chance to proc cryo ammo per shot, and then once they're frozen, they're just at your mercy. They're stationary, and you can just open up on them. But warp ammo, I just don't think it adds quite enough of a punch to the weapon compared to some of the other ammo choices. And as well, I mean, it is going to give me greater effectiveness against barriers and such. But the Revenant doesn't really struggle with barriers, I think. I mean, it is a full auto weapon, it has a lot of shots, does a lot more damage per shot than most assault rifles. So, not really an issue to begin with. And another Ravager. Forgot that another Ravager comes out of the door when you're done. I don't remember that happening in my other playthroughs, but I'm sure it did. Though it wouldn't be the first time that something new happened in this playthrough that didn't occur in the other playthroughs. For example, on Chrono Station, I finally did face 2 Atlas mechs. I have no idea why, but this time around I faced 2 Atlas mechs on Chrono Station. And the only thing I can think is, well, I skipped all the plot in this game, and I didn't get any extra war assets whatsoever to make sure everything went quickly. So maybe because my war assets were low, it made 2 Atlas mechs come out. I don't know. I also was mostly a renegade in this one, so maybe because I picked renegade options when talking to Edie or something, I don't know, and she like didn't do her best when she was preventing the hangar from being vented. Weird stuff. Okay, so now the Brutes and the Banshee. I'm pretty sure I die here somehow. I think it was just, I'm dumb. That's usually how it goes. One thing to note is when you're facing Brutes, they do have armor, and I mean, I realize they have armor, but they have armor pieces on their bodies. Just like when you're attacking a cannibal who has been armored by a marauder, when you hit the armor pieces, they absorb all your damage, and they dissolve. So it's like, it's a hit that just does nothing, that's made ineffective. That's far more important when you're using, say, a sniper rifle. Like, say you're shooting him and you just happen to hit the armor piece, well, that will completely negate the damage from your sniper rifle. Whereas with the Revenant, it's not really a big deal because I have so many shots that just the weapon's natural spray and spread will deal with it. And yeah, I allowed myself to die here. That was dumb. I spent too much time firing. I was just opening up on him, and you can't roll when you're firing. So I just was a little too aggressive. I should have been more defensive in that case. I'm kind of pissed now, though, so I'm kind of just running at him. How dare you kill me? But notice I did not make the same mistake. I stopped firing and rolled long before he hit me. But likewise, especially because I came up here, it allowed them to close faster, and I had to deal with both of them at the same time. That was a fortuitous roll. Fortuitous, man. Behold my vocabulary. Anyway. Yeah, I'm also kind of losing track of them. And yeah, that, I would have been pissed if I died. I was trying to climb up that cover, and it was just repeatedly trying to res Liara. That would have annoyed me quite a bit. Definitely highly recommend an increased magazine mod on the Revenant. It's a really long reload, and those extra 30 shots, and this is just a very low-level magazine upgrade, but even just 30 shots is really helpful, at least I find. Because I hate spending time reloading, especially because I do like using it as a close-quarters weapon. And getting caught reloading when you're outside of cover and using it as a close-quarters weapon can be problematic.
They're all coming from that room up ahead.
So it's Banshee time, and another Brute. Normally I would try to shoot that from behind cover because it helps reduce spread, but I didn't really have the opportunity. Maybe right here. Now another Banshee's closing in. But the Brute is done and dead. Just have to deal with the Banshee. Not taking any chances, not going to let her sync kill me randomly. I feel like there should have been 2 Banshees here. It is really late in the game at this point. Though I'm kind of glad there isn't right now, just because it would make it take longer. I mean, 2 Banshees doesn't really make things very difficult when they have no support. Banshees are really, really threatening on the final mission because they have all kinds of Marauder support, and it's really easy to get flanked and shot in that one. But when all you have is just 2, and you're in a huge room like this, it's not a huge deal. Just like when you first face them at the end, when you first face 2 at the end of Lessus. 3, though, starts getting to be a challenge, even without support. Absolutely. Just because of it's hard to keep track of them all, and they do teleport around, and you have warps flying everywhere, and if you don't focus one down quick enough, they'll start regenerating barriers. So that would definitely be a challenge. I think. You only ever face 3 at a time on the final mission, so I don't really have a lot of experience doing it. This room especially, though, it's not too difficult to deal with her, because there's tons of high cover everywhere. I keep allowing myself to get shot by warps, though, and I freaking died. I couldn't believe it, and I was going to be incredibly irritated. That was rage. Then I realized, wait. Oh, okay. I guess it autosaved. We died at the same time, and it autosaved, so I didn't have to do it again. So, huzzah. Alright, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and have a good one.